We're continuing on AI TV to introduce you to some of the exhibitors who are at this year's AI Expo Africa, and one of them is Sandil Bhikha. He's from AgenticZA. They're basically an advisory service, and one of their missions is basically around demystifying the conversation around artificial intelligence. Sandil, welcome to AI TV. So, AI Expo, you were first here as a guest. You're back this year as an exhibitor. What's the difference for you?
So, the first time I came to the AI Expo, I was really impressed with the way that South Africa was progressing, but also felt that we have a lot more to offer in this country. And, I guess it's one of the things that inspired me to start my business at the beginning of this year and to come here and exhibit as well. I really like what they're doing in terms of exposure, and it feels a lot different. I feel in control. But
do you feel like you have more responsibilities now? You have to be a grown-up and lead.
Always. When you go into the world of entrepreneurship, it comes onto you.
You said, for instance, that one of your observations was that we have a lot more to offer, right?
Yeah.
What is that more?
We have an ecosystem. One of my colleagues was actually mentioning today that we actually have one of the youngest populations in the world, and if we can drive the right type of education towards that population, we can put ourselves in an advantage in Africa, which is, I think, if we can drive adoption inside of AI, and, we also had a quantum computing talk today, that kind of stuff too, we really can start putting Africa at the forefront rather than trailing.
So how then, in what ways, in fact, does demystifying AI, which you say you want to do, tie into achieving that core objective?
So, I think it all starts with education, with getting the right content to the people at the time that they need it, and making them understand that these tools are here to empower us and to help us, rather than them being scared of it. I think that's one of my core goals, is to try and show people that we really can be using it effectively. If you can use it effectively, it can really put you at an advantage.
And how have you been able to do that through AgenticZA?
So,
how old is AgenticZA, by the way?
AgenticZA is only, I think, 7 months old now.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a few pivots, but, one of the first projects we had was developing an English second language application and using AI to give students feedback on how their pronunciation is in English for people who it's not native to. And while that was not designed for African learners, it can still be applied across these different language barriers. And this is only one area where AI can make a huge difference, is education. But yeah, we have so much opportunity in South Africa, I don't want to limit it only to education, but that's where it starts.
So 7 months in, you said there have been multiple pivots. What keeps you going?
Like I said a little bit earlier, once you get into the world of entrepreneurship, it takes you, and I enjoy what I'm doing, to put it simply. I did my qualification, or my master's in AI before this, and had the decision to either go down the route of entrepreneurship or go down the route of getting a job at one of these companies. And while I did have the opportunity, I'm glad that I chose the option I did. It's allowed me certain freedoms, and while not everyone's in this position, it can really open up your worldview and open up your mind to what's actually possible, or what you can achieve when you're dedicated to something.
Well, when a man with a master's in AI speaks, we all listen, right? What went into that? Speak to us about the master's.
So the master's is an interesting story. I actually did it completely online through the University of Liverpool. I'm stuck there, actually.
No, don't worry. We'll take it step by step. So,
yeah.
University of Liverpool, masters online,
Yeah.
which ties in perfectly, in fact, to the conversations that are being had here, right? Where it's a big world, but technology has made it a lot smaller.
Exactly.
Why a master's in AI when there's so many things a bright young man could pursue?
So I think it stemmed from my undergraduate degree, that AI was a natural following point. But I realized that from when I was young, I was very interested in all of these conversational chatbots, and kind of just before ChatGPT and the major release of all the public models, I watched a movie and I was like, hey, I can actually study this thing. And I'm glad that happened the way it did.
And what was the focus of your master's, Sandil?
It It was actually, my thesis was on fine-tuning a small Google language model on South African language data. So I created a small adapter that basically allowed the models to understand South African languages a little better. It was a tiny improvement, but still a lot of the concepts that I used in my master's have been applied to larger projects and have been proven quite successful as well.
Is that something you'd want to go back to, pick up on, and build, perhaps improve on in years to come?
I think so, but I see a lot of positive influence from a lot of the companies that were exhibiting here in terms of their development of South African AI models. When I was doing my master's, which was only last year, data scarcity is already, it's still a conversation that flows, but what people have been able to achieve since that time, since I submitted my thesis last year, is incredible. The UMCOR team was actually telling me that they have created this model that can understand the 12 different languages. That's already a marvel to me.
We actually spoke to the CEO of UMCOR. She was with us here as well earlier. So I think it's inspiring to see young people such as yourselves, not just working in the space, but leading your own organizations, which again comes back to the idea of building this AI-powered future for Africa, but owned by Africans.
Absolutely.
So, collaboration,
Yes.
how important is that for you?
It is essential. I mean, while a lot of us can do a lot by ourselves, we need to get ideas from and collaborate with other people in order to drive real growth, So for me, essential. Collaboration is absolutely essential.
So where do you see then, on that note, AgenticZA in the next, let's say, year, when we meet again here at the next edition of AI Expo Africa?
Yeah.
Where do you want to be? What is your wish for your business?
I mean, I had a lot of really good conversations and networking opportunities here, and I met a lot of really cool people. So what I'd hope for is that I can collaborate with a lot of these people and drive not only their projects forward, but also other, mutually beneficial projects for the South African ecosystem. And for me, something I've always wanted to target is education, and I really hope I can branch into that. I hope that I do what I can to do that.
And we hope that when we see you next year, you'll have done that. Sandil Bhikha, good to talk to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Sandil Bhikha, second time that he's back at AI Expo Africa. In fact, but this time is his first time attending as an exhibitor, and great things are ahead for him.